What's happening? Happy Thursday, RPG Fantasy Sports. Check out my site, www.rpgfantasysportsdoc. That's doc.com. I'm RPG with the most handsome man alive, Ron Burgundy. Ron, what's cracking? Boom. Let's get right to things. Big, girthy, nasty buys this week for some offensive juggernauts. Indy, the Jets, Houston, Detroit. A lot of start players on that team, so it's going to be a little bit of toughness with your roster. The good thing is, a lot of the injuries have subsided for the most part. There's still some injuries, Michael Vick, Pierre Thomas. The only two guys I'd really worry about this week, Malcolm Floyd, Antonio Gates. Both are playing in the late game, which is no good. You're probably not carrying two tight ends on your roster, so Gates has that dreaded game time decision. Even if he plays, how effective is he going to be? Malcolm Floyd, I think he doesn't play. If you had a chance to pick up Patrick Creighton, or if you can pick up Patrick Creighton, I highly suggest doing so. So, week 7. After this week, you're going to probably be halfway through your regular season of fantasy. Unbelievable. If you're 0-6, 1-5, I'm sorry. Just keep plugging in your best team, and hopefully maybe you'll make a run. 2-4, you need a win this week. 3-3, you need a win this week. It's not make or break at 3-3, but you really do. If you're 5-1, 4-2, 6-0, you're sitting pretty good. It might be time to start looking ahead. Not too far, not too overconfident. Maybe stop looking forward to 2 weeks and look forward to maybe 6, 7 weeks, 5, 6, 7 weeks towards those playoffs. You don't want to get overconfident, but maybe you can start swinging some deals with those teams that are struggling a little bit because they might be looking to shake it up. I've got 5 buy lows that I really like going forward. If you can get them, great. Number 1, Michael Turner. 1 touchdown through 6 games. That pace isn't going to continue. He got injured in one of them, and last week Philly got way ahead. You draft him in the top 7. He's a stud, but you can probably get him low right now because he's struggling a little bit. If you can get him, he's my number 1 buy low right now. D'Angelo Williams. They've only played 5 games. They're 0-5. He's averaging 5 yards a carry. He's just not getting a lot of carries. They're getting behind early. He's not any kind of factor in the second half. You got to run him more than 13 times a game if you want him to be effective. Matt Moore's back at QB, which isn't great, but he's better than Clausen, got a better arm. Steve Smith's supposed to be back. I like D'Angelo Williams. He's not going to be a top 10 guy, I don't think, but he's definitely not worth where you drafted him now, so scoop him up if you can. Beanie Wells, he can't be any lower than he is right now. Missed the first couple games, just came off a bye, hasn't done anything. The Cardinals aren't great. Beanie Wells is good. You drafted him somewhere in the top 4 rounds, possibly he's not worth half that right now. Scoop him up if you can. He's one of those candidates. You know, Michael Turner, D'Angelo Williams, their names, they're going to be tougher to get even though they've struggled. Beanie Wells might not be. 2 receivers, Larry Fitzgerald, Chad Ochocinco. Fitzgerald got a lot of targets. Derek Anderson was throwing the ball. Max Hall isn't a lot better. He's not Kurt Warner, but he's the best receiver on that team. Really the only one. I guess Preston's supposed to come back maybe this week. Doucette's going to be back. Fitzgerald's going to get the targets. He's going to get the ball. I like Hall's accuracy a little bit more. He's coming off a bye again. You might have forgot about him. Buy low. And Chad Ochocinco, the last one. $159, 1 touchdown, first game. Scorcher. The last 4 games, he doesn't even have 159 yards total. Carson Palmer is going to get him the ball. He's going to get T.O. the ball. Chad Ochocinco is going to see a bigger role. Carson Palmer, I think there's still something wrong with his shoulder. He's throwing a lot of picks. But Chad is going to get better. Also, those guys coming off a bye, maybe people have forgotten about him a little bit. Buy low. A couple other guys you probably can't get anymore. Mike Wallace, Hines Ward, Heath Miller. The best time to get him was before Roethlisberger came back. Each one of them had a touchdown last week, but it's a small body of work. It was only 1 week. If you can get them now. Roethlisberger's going to throw the ball. They have a lot more value than they did the first 4 weeks when everybody was throwing the ball but Roethlisberger. So those are my buy lows. Tons of good games this week. Philly at Tennessee, New England at San Diego, Cincy at Atlanta, Pittsburgh at Miami. You got the Giants going into Dallas on Monday night, and what is a must-win. Last week was must-win for Dallas. This week's even more must-win. They lose, they're done. They're not mathematically done. They're done. You can put them in the chest. You can lock them up. They're good. They're done. But Ron Burgundy's Game of the Week. Sunday night, Brett Favre, Minnesota Vikings going into Lambeau Field. Gonna be good, prime time. Ron Burgundy, the cheese goes on the head, sir, not in the mouth. But you know what Ron Burgundy likes. It's going to be a good one. Brett Favre's going to show up prime time. The fans are going to boo him. Brett Favre's not going to be jumping and doing any Lambeau leaps. I love these primetime games where Favre's going to, he's going to step up. Both teams need a win. All of a sudden, with one more win, Minnesota's back into it. The Bears are struggling. The Packers are struggling. It's going to be a great game. RPG's tip of the week, tip number 4. Sort of going along with the buy low, trade etiquette. If somebody offers you a trade, even if it's preposterous, just decline it. Don't let it sit there for 3 days. Nothing worse than me proposing a trade Tuesday afternoon and Thursday night comes and still no answer, and I've got to withdraw it myself. Just deny it or counter it within 24 hours. It's just etiquette. You don't do it, all of a sudden people don't want to trade with you when you really want to trade. So just if somebody offers you a trade, if you don't want it, whatever, just go in. Most times in most leagues, anytime you get a trade offer, it goes to your email. Just decline it. Any good fantasy owner is on their site at least once a day, even if it's for 5 minutes. So do the right thing. Just say no. Don't leave it there. So week 7, looking forward to it. Tomorrow's Friday, one more day of work. People are getting excited. I'm RPG. You want to check out my site again, www.rpgfantasysports.com. I'm RPG. My boy handsome Ron Burgundy. Week 7, halfway through. Enjoy it. Go Cardinals. I'm out of here. Have a good weekend.